life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for greatness.
Shit, Dave.
And we're back on the Autonomous Podcast. I am your host, Damian Jackson, just me and the AI. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the election now that it's finally fucking over. I don't have to get the text messages of telling me who to vote for or suggesting who I should vote for and stuff. Telling me what amendment to vote for. I live in Florida, so the big thing was Amendment 3 and Amendment 4 and whatever else. I didn't even look at a sample ballot, if I'm not mistaken. I think I just threw that shit away as soon as I got it. I was like, yeah, fuck this. And we'll get into my whole philosophy and ideology behind voting and how I feel about it and whatnot. To each their own. I'm not going to knock anybody. I won't make fun of anyone for voting, But I think at some point we'll all come to the same conclusion. But the election is over with. Donald Trump was elected, voted in as the president of the United States. Y'all gotta really think about that shit, man. You really gotta think about that. We can talk about their campaigns. I think Trump did a better job of trying to appeal to the culture, the masses, going on podcasts, got a Joe Rogan podcast. I think he did Aiden Ross and some other people and stuff. He brought out some celebrities, some entertainers, things like that, some former athletes. I think Antonio Brown spoke in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken. So he did a better job having a better campaign as opposed to recognizing that the fact that you can't just go out there and talk policy and the facts. You can't just talk policy and the facts because most people don't give a shit about that. Even though those that consider themselves intelligent voters and want to go off logic, the reality is you're still going to go with your emotions. You're still going to go with what you fucking feel, which is okay. To each their own. They let all y'all vote, so, it's cool, right? It's cool. It's whatever. Democratic Party decided to go the same playbook that they've been using because, well, they're arrogant. They're arrogant. They figure, we'll just do the same thing. If not, then we'll try to cheat anyways. So no matter what, and they definitely cheated, right? It's not misinformation. They definitely cheated. I mean, we sat and watched them cheat last election in 2020. If you don't think they didn't, well, you weren't paying attention. It's not conspiracy. It's not misinformation. It was there. It was there. Now, Trump went on a rant last time because he lost because he saw that they were cheating. Granted, he still would probably go on a rant anyway because that's who he is, but it is what it is. Some people are competitive and they don't like to lose, and some people actually have valid reasons why they lost. So if he'd have lost this time, he still would have went on a rant. They blocked. I'll say that they blocked most of the cheating. If anything, I say that they blocked most of the cheating, but also the Democratic Party didn't think they had to go through those same cases or go through to the same extremes in order to get this election because they felt like, well, they had it. And the fucked up thing about all this is we're talking about Democratic, Republican parties, two-party system. Fuck the third party and the independent candidates that ran and shit. Fuck them, right? Fuck them. It's as if they don't even exist. We don't even pay them any attention. You don't even get to see them on your fucking TV screen or your phones rather, or anywhere across social media. You have to go find them and figure out who the fuck they even are. I think it was someone from the Green Party. I don't like this whole party shit. I don't like none of this shit because all it is you're just trying to align yourself with people in which you can kind of get some support and kind of ride that wave. Kamala Harris having Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, right? Not the most moral value type of women that you want to have out there. Stereotypes, right? Let's just call it stereotypes. Out there doing hood rat shit, right? You listen to the music, right? It's one thing if you're going to listen to the music. It's another thing when we want to talk about politics and running the country and making choices and shit. So to have Megan Thee Stallion up on stage dancing, shaking her ass, and you're talking about running for the president of the United States, it's not a good look, bro. Right? I think we all can agree on that. We all can agree. It's not a good look. Probably not something you should be, doing. But because they don't want to appeal to policy and logic, they want to get you dancing and feeling good and get on your emotions. But most people will vote because of that shit. And for the most part, you know, it kind of worked a little bit. The problem with all that is they've been trying to influence the youth. It's one thing to have transgenders and things like that and then bring up those topic of conversation for the 0.000000001% of the population that we all of a sudden give a shit about. That's one thing. But when you're trying to push those things onto children, people hold a lot of deep values and a lot of standards when it comes to fucking with children's minds. So once you try to push that shit towards children, that fucked up a lot of people to be like, nah. If you want to do what you want to do as an adult, that's your right. I don't agree with it. But when we're talking about children, we're not even trying to give children an opportunity to figure out themselves. And we're all of a sudden, oh, you're 12 years old. Oh, you're 8 years old. You're a little boy. You want to be a girl. Even those that are transgender still say the same thing. Like, hey, let's not affect the children. So that shit right there alone could get you, can cost you an election if they weren't actually selected. But let's go with the thing that y'all think y'all vote matters and vote count and the voting system, all that shit is legitimate, right? Then yes, that means something. Also, the whole abortion thing being on, I don't even, the logic behind the whole abortion thing is hilarious. Because if I'm not mistaken, it was Annie Coney Barrett, wherever her name was, or is. I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, because I did track in detail a lot of this, and I made a lot of episodes on my other podcast, which is Put to Bed Now, the Underdog podcast. We're focusing on the Atomics podcast now. If I'm not mistaken, Trump was trying to push wanted her to get the seat, because he wanted the abortion thing to be not a federal thing, but something that the states decide. Because y'all know it's the United States of America. We only come together as a country mainly when we're doing with macroeconomics and, well, military defense. Military offense, but yeah, still military defense. But that's not the case. People they're afraid of abortion from a federal point when they're talking about Trump, thinking that he's going to do a national abortion ban, which I don't even think he can even do anyways, because all y'all were not paying attention. I want to say all y'all. Most of y'all weren't paying attention in school and stuff when they explained the branches of the government and, the checks and balances situation. But the government has run amok, and you got people that are appointed, not elected, and put in certain positions, and they could be there for decades upon decades. Dr. Fauci. So Trump was trying to get her on there, and I don't even think she voted to have the abortion ban or abortion rights, whatever it be, to the states. But either way, the Supreme Court decided to have the abortion right pushed to the state. The whole abortion thing is funny to me in its own. I get, I can't speak for everybody. I get the fact that women want to have the right over things, obviously something as carrying a baby, their body. But a lot of women seem so eager to go out there and just have an abortion. Or I think they just talk about it. Because I know the women that have had abortions, and I know women that I dealt with that have said that they had an abortion from apparently a child in which I helped conceive. I don't fucking believe her until this day. And I'm still going to say that shit. And I'm going to keep talking about it. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. I'm not for abortion. I'm not against abortion. It's a case-by-case choice. I don't think the government should be involved in anyone's fucking body. But when it comes to abortion, you got to go somewhere and get it done. And because medical practice is licensed by the government, if y'all haven't noticed, the government is the issue. Anytime you bring the government into anything, it's going to be an issue. So you want the government to give you right over your body, to give you autonomy over your body, even though you already have autonomy over your body. You give up that autonomy when you ask the government to make a law. Whether the law is in your so-called favor or not, anytime we ask the government to make up a law or have a decision made that's going to affect us, it opens up the door to have another decision made that's going to affect us. And that's why we have this domino effect of this expanding government. So the whole, even the abortion thing being thrown out there, why are we focused on after the fact as opposed to before? Cause and effect. We're focused on the effect as opposed to the cause. How about better education? How about, better fucking economy? When we'll get into that too here in a little bit. But we focus on, what happens if a woman gets raped? All right, I don't even know why incest got even thrown out there. I really don't understand why incest has gotten thrown out there. Because rape is a thing, right? That's what we want to talk about and stuff. But then incest is what? Is that not rape? Because if my family member has sex with me and I didn't want it and I get pregnant, that's still rape. But because the family member, now we're going to separate the category and call it incest. But if those two people are in the same family bloodline, they decide to have a baby together, as wild as that seems, that's still their choice, is it not? Like I said before, people don't actually want freedom. People don't want freedom. They want control boundaries. They want rules to live by that they can all feel good. And they don't want to come up with those rules themselves. They want someone else to tell them those rules. These presidential nominees, these presidential candidates, these presidents, these people in government have all of a sudden told themselves that they're leaders. And the rest of y'all, most of y'all, have said, yes, these people are leaders. But these people are not supposed to be leaders. They're supposed to be civil servants, right? They're supposed to be working for us, those voters. So if I vote for the president of the United States, that motherfucker's supposed to be listening to me, not going off and leading the country. No, you're not leading anything, right? Because it's supposed to be a democracy or a democratic constitutional republic. Constitution doesn't mean shit. Democracy doesn't mean shit. Republic doesn't mean shit. The form of government in which we have does not fit the population in which we have. We're trying to apply a form of government that was suited hundreds of years ago. We have to evolve, thus revolution. But y'all don't want that because most of y'all don't want to make your own choices. Y'all want to put the choices in someone else's hand. And that way you can blame someone else if the shit doesn't turn out the way you had wanted it to turn out. Most people lack accountability. Most people lack responsibility. Most people do not want to make their own decisions. Be your own fucking leader. Be your own president. Empower yourself to make decisions based on your own fucking life, because my life and your life are not the same. Now, before I get any more into that, we'll talk about the economy. Most people voted based on I can't say most people. There's a good amount of people that voted based on the economy because they're at the gas station, they're at their grocery store, they're trying to afford rent, they're trying to buy a house, and they've seen that the economy has went to shit in the past 4 years, which is incredible, right? You see how quickly they rose up the debt, right? I don't even know where we're at no more. I don't even want to look. If I'm not mistaken, the last number I seen was $38 trillion. And Trump contributed to some of that during COVID. But the amount that he contributed to it, as opposed to the amount that this past administration, the Biden-Harris administration, they contribute a lot more to it, obviously, because they've been sending money to fucking Ukraine and Israel. And I think Hong Kong. And just sending money out all over the fucking place, which is money laundering, by the way. It's money laundering because they're not actually sending it to those countries. They're sending it to corporations within those countries. Oh, man, I should have just muted that. Actually, I don't think the sound will even pop up. I don't think the sound should pop up. Anyways, got a text message from my dad. But as we talk about the economy and how everything has been going, people are looking at the gas station. They're looking at the prices. They're looking at the cost of food going up and down and shit. How can you afford to live when you can't even know what the cost of utility is going to be from 1 month to the next? My utility bill has doubled. My utility bill has fucking doubled in the time that these people have been in office. Why? The things that they're doing. Well, first, the cost of the dollar is going down too. They don't want to talk about that, but the cost of the dollar is going. You can't continue to print money, have all these dollars in circulation, and it fucks up the economy. That's inflation. Then you can talk about the BRICS. Yeah, although they don't want to really acknowledge it, but they're creating their own separate economy. They're creating their own separate market, their own separate financial system, because they realize they can't do this shit with the United States using the dollar. And it's not even fair to all the other countries around the world. It's a bad system. The world economic system in which we had to play is a bad system. But it's for the bankers. It's for the bankers. That's who it's for. It's for the people behind the scenes that are not associated with no government, but pull the strings of all the government and presidents around the world. These people that you think are in power are not in power. It's the ones that you don't fucking know their names. Although we kind of see some of their names here and there. So some of the people in the royal families and things like that. Some of your CEOs and execs and some of the people that just been in these government positions are NGOs, non-government organizations. WEF, World Economic Forum, things like that. IMF, International Monetary Fund, World Bank, World Health Organization. Like, you look into those people and look who's behind the scenes, and they're out there making decisions and taking. And guess what? When they talk and they live stream, they tell you exactly what their plan is, and the different plans that they have in place for decades and decades. Probably like 100 people watching, maybe 2,000. Meanwhile, you have a streamer like Casanat or whoever, IShowSpeed, whoever the fuck top streamers are out there and stuff, and they'll have hundreds of thousands of people watching. Because people want to be entertained. And that's why these people, these in power, in the so-called position of power rather, they go off and do what they want to do because they know most people don't give a fuck. So why are they caring? But yeah, as you talk about the economy, it doesn't matter what Trump think he's going to do. I know he didn't want to talk about his financial plans or his policies or how he wanted to fix the economy. I think he was concerned, or their campaign was concerned, that Kamala Harris was just going to copy and paste because she kind of already did that anyways. But he also didn't want to tell it because the reality is he can't do shit. The economy is so far gone, you can't do it. They have to implode it. It is imploding. Don't get it twisted. The economy is imploding, but a new system is already in place behind the scenes. If you've been following crypto, if you've been following digital assets, that's where we're going. We have to go into that. We have to go back to some sound, fundamental financial principles, monetary principles. We're going to have to go back to being backed by some type of actual resource, gold, precious metals, things like that, because you cannot just have this imaginary money. You know, that's pretty much what it is. It all is. You cannot have this shit just print up whenever you want to turn on the print machine. My thing is, Trump is not going to get rid of the Federal Reserve. If Trump is going to make any actual changes, he has to dismantle 9% of the fucking government. At least 9% of the government. You got to get rid of these three-letter agencies. Right? Your military should just control or not control. Don't use that word. Your military should be there for defense. Close all those fucking bases around the world. You're like, oh, we got to be over there to help. We're not the world police. We're not the world police. We're not the world police. All those bases around the world should not be there. Close those fucking bases. That saves you money right there. If you want to protect the border, all right, well, that's what you got the military for. You got your National Guard, which you can just go back to condensing all that into the Army, right? You got your Space Force. Okay, so now you're protecting not just your skies because you have the Air Force, but you're protecting your cyberspace and above space, right? Space, wherever the fuck that actually is and stuff. You done brought Elon Musk on, who's going to probably try to weasel his way. I don't know if they're going to appoint him or not, but I wouldn't be surprised if he gets appointed head of the Department of Transportation, and he's going to try to bring in his autonomous robots and what was it? Autonomous Robocar. These fucking names. He's not even, come on, be a little bit more creative. So he's going to try bringing that shit and stuff. So we're going towards digital, right? You're going to see the digital ID be rolled out. You're going to see the central bank digital currencies already be rolled out. You're going to see the digital dollar be rolled out. And I say that because they already tried to do it, but people weren't paying attention. One of the earlier drafts of the CARES Act had the digital dollar in it. They're going to use the post office to help kind of push that out there and everything, stuff like that. And I'm not saying that. That's what they put in the fucking draft. But people don't read that shit. People don't read those bills. People don't read those acts. They don't read those things. And I get why you don't want to read it, because it is boring. And government speech is intentionally confusing. I was having a discussion with my friend, and she was trying to figure out some stuff about her LLC and stuff, and seeing how the government just wrote something or this and that. That's what the government does. It's intentionally confusing. Even if you have a lawyer, even if you have no matter your degrees, no matter your education, the shit is intentionally confusing because they leave loopholes and gray area stuff for those that can navigate those avenues. If you know how to understand government speech and government talk, then you're good. But you got to have experience with dealing with the government. So I think Trump's other plan was to have tariffs. It's not going to work in a way he wants it to work. The idea is to put on tariffs on other countries, so kind of tax them for their imports. The problem with that is other countries, yeah, of course they're going to raise prices, but it won't necessarily be anything too significant. But you're going to run into some companies after a while who'll be like, I don't feel like dealing with this. And so some companies are going to go away, which if I'm not mistaken, kind of reading on how Trump's been acting and behaving and thinking these past decades, almost a decade now, right? That's wild. Motherfucker won, lost, then won. Y'all can't tell me this shit's not a joke, bro. You can't tell me it's not a fucking movie. So if I'm not mistaken, he wants more companies to stay in America and build in America and cut down on the exports or imports rather anyways, because the United States government itself, the federal government itself, is not a producer of anything. It's not producing anything. They're not supposed to be a producer of anything. They're not supposed to be generating revenue. But that's why they have all these taxes and these laws and these fines and stuff like that, so they can generate revenue and shit, so they can get money. Where does that money go? Why are these motherfuckers being millionaires even though they've just been in political offices for a long time? Why Nancy Pelosi's husband always selling stocks? How you go into political office, they're government employees, so you can look at every government employee, you can look up their fucking salary, you can see how much they make. Yet they somehow took the they somehow took the $80,000, $100,000 a year salary and turned that bitch into millions. Oh, I guess they're just all extremely financially smart. Politics is not supposed to be a fucking career. It's a civil duty, a civic duty. That's what it's supposed to be. Same as you're voting as your civic duty, being in politics is a part of your civic duty. The salary is really just supposed to compensate you for your time. You're not supposed to make a career out of this shit. But here we are. But the economy, no matter what Trump does, he can't fix it. He can't fix it. It's on a collision course or a destruction course to just fucking explode. It's done. Now, things have been happening in the past in his first presidency to, like I said, digital assets, crypto, things like that to kind of set up going into this new economy and places around the world too as well. People talk about XRP and Ripple. Well, yeah, that's it. That's it. finding ways to transfer money cheaper, faster, more effective saves people trillions of billions upon trillions of dollars. Billions upon trillions of dollars. Plain and simple. I say this too. Trump will not get rid of the Federal Reserve. If you're not going to get rid of the Federal Reserve, there's nothing that can be done. You can't make any significant change unless you get rid of the Federal Reserve. If Trump wants to if he actually does this, get rid of the Federal Reserve and the IRS, I'll be like, okay, hey, I salute you. You get my respect. You get my full-blown respect. If any president comes in there and starts axing everything, gets rid of the fucking FDA, all these fucking stupid ass agencies, get rid of the Federal Reserve, which is not part of the government, it's a private fucking bank, you get rid of them, then okay. Then you have my respect. But he's not going to do that. He didn't really make too many steps in his first term to do that. And they split up his term. So we know that it's best for a president to have the consecutive 8-year term to implement the things that he wants to implement. But at the end of the day, he's still one person. You still need congressional approval. You got to get approval from the Senate. You have to make sure that it's all legal. So the judicial branch is going to have to make sure all that stuff is legal. It's just too much, bro. It's just too much. We're just living through the times of apocalypse, of revolution, of change. That's it. This form of government is outdated. It doesn't suit you, me, the individual. There's too many of us in this country, too many of us in this world. Trying to have government to manage all of us, because that's what government is doing, trying to manage all of us, it's just not going to work. And that's why I stopped voting. Because I'm not consenting to none of this. I'm done with all this. I'm done. None of this form of government is going to work. We should just have some type of market, or no, there should just be a free market, and then there should be an economy. That's it. I'll be honest with you, I kind of argue even against the whole monetary system, but I'm okay with it because money is just a transference, or money is just really a social contract between me and another person. Corporations shouldn't exist. A business and a corporation, two separate fucking things. Corporation, there's no one that you can physically hold liable. There's no actual person to really hold liable. A business is someone's name is attached to it. People's names are attached to it. That's different. We can find ways to have litigation and mediation. Hell, we can use AI for it. We can go about a whole lot of different things. I know most people aren't ready for that, but reality is, what, we're going to sit and just watch these governments continue to do all this type of fucked up shit, fuck up everybody's lives stuff? Weather manipulation, wars, destroying the fucking food, destroying the water supply as they try to blame us, the regular day person. Oh yeah, you drive your car, you're polluting the ozone. The fuck my car got to do with that shit? You got the plants, you got the industrial plants. Hell, your industrial plants are creating the fucking cars. You telling me the shit that y'all do and blowing up shit and bombs and all that type of stuff, nuclear weapons, putting that shit into the atmosphere, but me driving my fucking vehicle is polluting the ozone? They want to blame you, the regular person, for everything, but all you doing is getting up and going to work. You going about your life. Hell, you just want to watch some streaming platform. You just want to take your family out to a restaurant. But then I'm starting to outprice all that shit. So what? So we can just sit in our rooms and our homes and do nothing and shit, but still find. There's so many ways we can go with that, but it kind of leads off away from the conversation. So don't let me digress. Let me stay focused. The whole voting thing, I haven't voted that much. I voted in 2008. And I think I just voted for presidency because I was in Guam at the time. So I voted for Obama. I don't know who else was on the ballot and which things I would vote. I never just voted necessarily all Republican or all Democrat or all just third party. I've always been registered as an independent. So I'm going to vote wherever the fuck I feel like it anyways. The other time I voted was 2018 and, the state and local election. And I voted all over the place. And then in 2020 is when I voted again. And every time I voted, I wanted to go through the process of really just knowing what it is to vote. And when I vote, I don't like the fact that I don't know whether or not my vote counted. And I'm not talking about, oh yeah, I put my ballot through the Scantron, through the machine, and it got it. No, I'm talking about I want to see my actual vote be verified, authenticated, and I want to see a tally. But of course, everyone will be like, oh, well, no, you got to sit there and count it and do the counting. That's the problem. All this fucking technology, yet we're still voting as if we're in the Stone Age, right? We're still counting as if we're in the fucking Stone Age. They have the technology. Their blockchain does exist. They have the technology to utilize blockchain to verify and authenticate votes and to account it or account for it, because blockchain is just an accounting system. It's an encrypted counting system, fucking digital encryption and counting system. That's what it is. Record keeping. But you'll still see shit of videos of people having tubs of paper ballots and just letting them stay there and throwing them away because they don't want these votes to be counted, or just all shit like that. Like, if you have a system like that, it will always be open to some type of manipulation and type of cheating. You can't play fucking video games without somebody cheating. There's cheating in your sports world, in every league. There's cheating in entertainment. Everyone around you does not have the highest morality or highest moral character. We know that. So you have to know that all these things are set up from some type of manipulation. But that's fine. All you can do is minimize it as much as possible. The way the whole voting process is, I don't trust that shit. 2020, let me know I cannot trust this shit at all. I don't care what the Republicans and Trump and his campaign try to say that, oh yeah, we took care of it, we did all this. I still don't trust that shit because we still got mail-in ballots. We still have physical ballots, physical paper, things like that. Nah, we still tapping on a machine there and stuff and what? No. I want to see the technology in which my vote fucking counts right in front of my fucking face. I want to see the tally go up. If there were 589,000 votes for this one candidate in my area, I better be 589,001. I want to see that shit go up that way. So that's one reason why I don't vote. I don't vote because I don't like this government. I don't like this system. I don't like what we got going on. I don't want to be a part of it anymore. I'm stepping away from it. I'll vote again when the vote is on the table to dismantle all forms of government. Not anarchy, autonomy. I'm my own president. I'm my own king. I'm my own government. I don't break the laws because the laws are in place. I don't commit those crimes because I'm afraid of consequences and punishment. I don't do those things because I choose not to do them as a person. And so do you. We all do, because we have the laws, we have these things in place, and guess what? They're still broken. People are still going to commit crimes. The reality is that part of the population of the human species will always be a minority, because the rest of us do not want to, we don't give a shit about that. We're focused just on our day-to-day lives. We're focused on our relationships. Relationship with our spouses, our partners, girlfriend, boyfriend. We're focused on a relationship with our family members, parents, children. We're focused on what we want to do with our life in this fucking world that we're living in. We're not focused on going out there and trying to commit crimes or hurt another person and shit. But the media and a lot of people like to focus on that negativity, but that negativity is still small. It's small. I don't vote because I think about spirituality. I think about cause and effect. I think about if I give my power over to someone else, I give up my power. So I'm no longer empowering myself. I'm literally giving away my own power. Abortion, the economy, not necessarily economy. Let's stick to abortion. Abortion, things like that. So abortion. Like I said earlier, if I put it into the power of the government, I'm opening up the debate for the government to figure out what else can they make a law on my body. There will always be an exception to the rule because you, the individual, are the exception. Your case, your scenario, your situation can be similar, but it will never exactly be the same. And that's what it comes down to. I don't vote because I don't want to be a part of none of this anymore. I'm done with all this. I did not ever think I would be one for anarchy, for autonomy. But dealing with this over these past years, being an adult, being in the military, going overseas, going to Afghanistan, seeing that shit firsthand, seeing what they do in that country, seeing all the other people in another fucking people's country for whatever fucking reason, seeing them throw a goddamn Burger King up there, shit like that, seeing them selling Popeyes, me going to the BX on base at Bagram Air Force Base, or Bagram Air Base rather, and buying an Xbox and playing Grand Theft Auto 5 when that bitch came out. Things like that. Just all this coming to fruition in which I was like, I'm just done with all this and I don't want no one to tell me what to do. But this was a thought I've always had since I was a child. I never liked fucking voting. I'll go back to 2000 when overnight they flipped the switch. All of a sudden, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Gore was winning Florida, and then bam, Bush was winning Florida. And if I'm not mistaken, Jeb Bush was the governor of Florida at that time, which is George Bush's Jr.'s brother. If I'm not mistaken. But I'm just thinking about that when I was a kid. I'm just like, wait a minute. And the whole recount and miscount. And all I could think of was, y'all telling me all motherfuckers got to do is count and we can't get that right? So from that moment when I was a kid, I was questioning the whole process because I'm a kid. I'm in 8th grade. I go to school. I can do algebra. I can do all these different mathematical equations. But y'all telling me grown ass adults don't know how to just count 1, 2, 3, 4? Well, you're always going to have some type of error. Okay. But error in the 10s, 20s. But 100,000, 20,000, 30,000, when that many votes get miscounted and things like that, that lets me know some shady shit is going on. Because that's beyond the margin of error. And I knew that at 13 years old. So me knowing that, I was like, yeah, this shit is shady. But everyone just goes along with it for the most part, because a lot of us are afraid to think independently. A lot of us are afraid to voice these thoughts that we have because we're afraid of being shunned. When I post the clips of this, and one of these clips was when I'm talking about not voting is there, and I have made videos already about not voting, people are ready to come at me and like, oh, you should vote. People die for your rights. And yeah, that's their choice. Now I'm making my choice. Because that's what it's all about, right? Choices being made. You can agree with my choice. You can disagree with my choice. But you should still respect that it's my choice. My choice is not to have no form of government. Now the next choice is trying to figure out, well, where is that no form of no form of government at? Seems like I'm just going to have to create it. So the goal is moving forward is to keep my citizenship here because, well, I earn my benefits and then get dual citizenship in another country in which there's little to no government. And then from there, slowly build up my autonomous society and let that evolve into an autonomous civilization. So that's what this is about, autonomy. I am connected to the supreme being, the one being in which y'all call God or wherever you want to say. So if that is the only person in which makes rules for me, well, that is me making rules for myself. Because if I am God, God is me. I am part of that one conscious being. I am a reflection, a fractal light reflection of that one conscious being. Then, well, I have everything I have within me to govern me, to determine the politics for me, to determine the rules and laws for me. Autonomy. Moving forward, autonomy is the goal. Fuck voting, I'm out.
Life's a gamble, I roll dice. Bet against me, I roll twice. I done beat the odds my whole life. I said I'm ready for
Talking
greatness.
shit, dang.